and even in the grand finals, making it to the top 3.
We'll have to find out how long will this last, because from the semifinals, it started off the same way. And when a lot of teams has turned around and getting those kills and trying to cut them off, and like in rotations that the Conquerors are getting, then they are falling out. So we'll have to find out if round number 2 is a chance for them. But as we look at the flight right now, those hard to reach area will be on the right hand side, and Dormitory is one of them. So we'll have to find out if Almighty might be meeting the team of Vagabonds Esports onto Ski Town, because if they will be cutting short the flight they have, then it might be an early engagement from them, AJ.
As usual, you will see the players of Four Kings Aces hop on into New Vision City so that they can find that high-tier loot. And the other teams out there on the battlefield just scrambling around looking for a spot to land for themselves. And Almighty Prime, they are confused. They don't even know where should they visit. They wanted to hop into practice range first, and then they disengage, moving towards Crash instead. But I thought Dormitory was a comfortable spot for Almighty Prime. So I'm questioning this move coming through a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't really affect them all that too much later on, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the distance they have. And I think it's the point that I mentioned. If their flight or glide is cut short, then their first enemy would be the teams of Vagabonds Esports, and no one wants to go there on that early engagement. And that is what we're asking. Why don't you challenge this team in an early engagement? Though it's a 50-50, but it's a chance for your team to take out the top dogs and probably pull them down slowly.
Pulling them down slowly is one thing. Managing to do that consistently one after the other is a whole other scenario to kind of consider, right? And for the time being, Riley Esports, they've been quite good at climbing up towards the top as long as it comes to the placement points. You find them in the final circle most of the time. Where Riley Esports kind of slides off of the face of the world is when it comes to the engagement capability, when it comes to the number of kills that they can take in that final circle, in that mid circle, wherever it is. Riley doesn't seem to be as dominant as Riley used to be, and that is one of the biggest surprises so far, I have to say that.
I mean, it might have been with the roster change as well, or roster loss, I would say. So with this a new team, they are more focusing on the tactics, rotations, and not so much on the slay. And I believe that they can pull it off. It's just that they want to be cautious. They want to stay in there, survive longer, and challenge Vagabonds Esports a little bit longer as well. And probably if we see them take out Vagabonds Esports in the early or probably mid part of the game, they will be going for the slave, because the mission is over. They have a mission, and it's to take out the location of Vagabonds Esports. But as we look at NRX 420, they've started in here at the bottom of this map, and from the gameplay that I've seen earlier, the rotations that they have, depending on where the safe zone is, they are a little bit they're far apart from each other. So hopefully they can utilize the mobility that they have in here with this chopper and get a good position later on, because that is where they are being taken down earlier, usually in an open area or probably in a lower ground where the others are just trying to snipe them out, gun them down from above.
Yeah, but I like this strategy coming through from NRX 420, managing to commandeer a couple of vehicles for themselves so that they can reposition, and making sure they abandon the chopper instead. Meow up top on the Jackal once again, trying to play that advantage against all of the other players. And thank goodness NRX 420 didn't take the chopper, or they would have been toasted up in the air, Neptune.
Yeah, I think that was a good call for them. And if I'm hearing it, I think Blink has already given out that mission that since they're seeing the Jackal in play on a minimap or on the map, then they don't want to take that chopper. Though they have the mobility, and as they fly around, they can get away and probably knock them down. But we'll have to find out. Rotation-wise, it's still too early to find out as to where they will be ending later on, as well as we don't have visibility just yet on the rest of the teams. But as we look in this movement right now, moving in to Crash and then towards, I would say, bus station or kill house later on, then they will be meeting those coming in from the top of this map. So we'll have to find out who that is. But so far, this is a slow pace compared to the previous match that we have, because no kills just yet, no early engagement. This is happening.
And I like that. And that's something that I truly loved at semifinals 1, which I was so disappointed to not find in semifinals 2, because the teams there were just so much more scrappier, you know, not taking proper drop spots, constantly hot dropping each other. And, you know, clearly the strategy wasn't as sound as some of the teams in semifinals 1. So overall, if you ask me, semifinals 1 was just a much tougher lobby in comparison to semifinals 2. But when you drop the top 8 teams into the grand finals from both semis, you know you're going to see those safe plays. All of the squads avoiding each other, respecting the supremacy and the prowess of each other, to focus on the loots first, then the strategies come first. Fright, Negi, Kyun, all of them inside of those choppers. 3 chopper combo coming through from the 4 kings. I mean, you know, the players can play a 3 jackal combo. Why can't we play a 3 chopper combo, says the 4 kings?
Yeah, I was just wondering where they got all those choppers. I'm not quite sure who they have to kiss to get all those choppers. But it's really, really rare that we see a team in there get a lot of this, unless they took it from that machine from New Vision City. Not quite sure how many that can be pulled out at the time like this, though it's only 7 minutes. So if we think about the timing, if you have 2 minutes for the cooldown, possibly they got it from that area. And where they're heading, I think, to cut off those coming in from the north. And when we say those coming from the north, it's only Ski Down that we have seen a team. It's Vagabonds Esports, and like a lot of teams are targeting Vagabonds Esports, and the chopper has been sighted right now. So we'll have to see as to who will be it. Oh no, this is their teammates. They are trying to aim for the airdrop that is coming in, as we see earlier.
Tons of airdrops available out there on the battlefield, and the 4 kings are the first ones who technically have their eyes on them. And it's a game of safe play first. They are making sure all of the airdrops and the area is cleared before moving in for the attack. But although they have the chopper, although they have that maneuvering capability around the battlefield super quickly, they don't seem to be able to find a spot or a good airdrop to take a pick on. It's already been looted already. The 4 kings are stuck up in the air, trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. Meow, Jackal, and now 4 kings engage. They're trying to shoot down the Jackal, and they do exactly that. Meow's taken out of the air. That's the way you handle the Jackal if it's a pressure against the choppers up top.
Yeah, leaving out one of the chopper, and I think going in for the slay against a few members of this team of Vidas, and we'll have to find out how Vidas will be able to fight back, because it's not only this a team of 4 kings that they're challenging, it is also NRX 420. So right now is it just I can't read that without laughing, AJ. I mean, it is quite surprising at this point.
And the reason why you can't stop laughing is because we remember his name before he changed it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how did he manage to avoid detection or anybody catching him, because technically Paramount Gaming is filled with Filipinos who should have been able to pick him out and force him to change his name a little bit earlier. But it's all right. I still got you, boy. With the crazy plays as usual out there on the battlefield. But out of nowhere, God Nate from Merc drops Chalup down onto the ground off screen. NRX 420, they just drive by HGE, spots out those players, takes a very sharp right turn. And I believe the engagement against the Congress might just be on the plane here for NRX 420.
Yeah, the gunshots is coming in from Dow Conquerors, but no far back coming from NRX 420. And the battle is in here between Vitality as well as AXP. So we'll have to find out. Kimmy is usually the sniper with this close against this team of Vitality. We'll have to find out if they'll be able to gun them down. And from the way the team of Vitality is moving, I don't think they have any idea that that this team is in here until The hacker has been pulled out. And there you go. I think a battle might be happening. The gunshots as well will be moving in, coming in from AXP Eternal. So, Faidan is the one who has rushed in early, but the pull-out has been done by the Eternals. And I think the engagement will be happening. Jeswo is in there, also felt a little bit of damage in there, but the sync, with a sliver of health, Faidan will not be able to take them down.
Virus, on the other hand, with the Odin, manages to catch Zimiru a little bit off guard. Sakray knocks down Zeus. NRX 420 in a little bit of trouble, as well as Zeus gets eliminated from the equation. Assassin finds Claudie, and everybody is just trading out one another. Now Almighty's Jace shuts down Assassin. It's a three-way battle, and that's exactly what happens when you disengage from all of those early engagements and stay alive. At a certain point, you are about to encounter chaos. This is that chaos. Bobby taken out of the equation as well. That's going to be a big kill coming through. So long-range engagement capability for NRX 420 immediately taken out of the equation.
Yeah, these teams are top teams, and pretty much they have the knowledge of the advantages of positioning, and that's one thing. If you started slow and then get the prime location with top teams in here all together, they will be at some point getting prime location at the same time, and that's one reason why we've seen a lot of engagement in their chase right now, going in some damage. But ENE Phoenix will be the next target after gunning down ABC Mystic. So Chase right now will be backing up a little bit too far from the rest of teammates and needs to make that exit. That's Chibi. Surprises them, but the pull out has been done. Almighty will not be continue this on, and they need to be in a safer location to do that.
Yeah, fantastic adjustments coming through from the Dow Congress. Blink taken out of the equation now as well. And as they know that it's NRX 420 in front of them, they don't take their eyes off of them at all. Chibi knows there's someone behind the boulder. MJ just literally running straight back into his crosshair, making things so easy for Chibi. But Chibi, all he manages is a couple of shots that connects, and he quickly repositions to confuse MJ just a little bit. Takes the high ground advantage that MJ had, but MJ's long out of that. But MJ's moving straight towards Chase. Chase with the composition. He should be able to shut him down. Pulls out the M21 instead of the PPSH when he had the opportunity, and leaves Chibi for the chase instead. MJ still alive and kicking. Good survivability by ENE Phoenix's MJ.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of crossover from the original MJ, but this time this MJ is doing well in the crossovers and trying to get away from that fight. Almighty right now is regrouping as their teammates will be coming back from their revive flight. And as we are looking right now, I mean, Riley Esports, the usual tactic that we've seen from top teams, taking the high ground, a little silent really on battle, and just getting information until they're comfortable. Even as Backbun's Nomads was passing by against them, Riley Esports hasn't taken shot against them. Taking out the traps is a good play for them so that it will be clear for the approach that they're planning, as they have plenty of time. Imagine 1 minute to go in and for the rotation, but the high ground might be a disadvantage for them because it has been taken already by the Four Kings.
Riley running straight into the Four Kings. Fright on the left-hand side. The rest of the players of Four Kings frighteningly on the right-hand side. But all of them are just a little bit too far away from taking advantage. Fright gives that information. Kyun can flank over from that left-hand side, but needs to make the decision. Instinct catches the player, tags up Watts, but he himself gets tagged up. Loses a majority of his armor and has to recompose himself. But Negi takes that opportunity to hack up all of the players. But the problem is, who did you hack? Did you hack the players in front of you? Riley Esports almost won it from the back.
Yeah, I think they have sights as well from the other side, because gunshots might be done by Vitas on that area. So it's good map awareness, environment awareness coming from the Four Kings right now. Shots coming in from Vitas at this point. Kuzma, Jabi, and Meow right now will be trying to put them down. But as a movement of the Four Kings right now, a little bit too far. They know the rotation where the teams Riley as well as Vitas will be coming from. They took the other part of this hill.
Yeah, it's a super smart move by the Four Kings. When they went in there for the hack, Negi quickly gave that information away, saying that there's not just one squad here that we have to deal with. There's a potential third party waiting to take advantage if we do engage. So supreme strategy executed by Four Kings. Guess what's that strategy? Run. and they ran for their lives. But, you know, I would have been so disappointed if they continued engagement. Why would you, when you know that there's another team out there just waiting to prey on you once you start your engagement? Because there's no way of telling how that fight would go. And a third party would have just meant the end of the Four Kings once again super early.
Yeah, I mean, with tactics just like this, it really makes me wonder if this is something that has been passed on from both teams of the Four Kings. Because if this hasn't been done as well by the core team, then I don't know what to expect. Because the aggressiveness is one thing that they have, but if the smarts can be put in there as well, like what heights can bring them. But that will not be happening for the main team. It is a Four Kings who's showing us this high IQ gameplay, and as the battle has been avoided by the Four Kings, it is now left to Vitas and Riley Esports.
Left to Vitas and Riley Esports, but I want to ask you, community, yes, you are watching this broadcast now, but the biggest question is, did you hit that like yet? If you haven't, please do hit that like and do help us share this broadcast out as well, so that all of your other friends from the community who are not aware that the competition has started already can hop on in and join us and make the comment section a little bit more lively than it already is. Thank you so much for being here to support all of the teams that you love. Now bring in a little bit more as well. Vagabond Snowman's is here with the long-range hit. Fantastic play so far as Kimmy manages to disengage, reposition. AXP Eternals on the way to meet the players of HGE. But between that one small little boulder and the rest of the HEG squad, it's just open grounds, man. They just have to maneuver around smartly, and this is what I'm talking about. Use the very edge of that water bank for your safety plays, and then cut that distance down before you surprise them. But all-out chaos to ensue once again, Neptune. We're already approaching the end of that fourth circle in the next half minute, and it looks like just way too many players are still alive and kicking out there on the battlefield.
Well, that's what you expect if you have 14 teams alive at this point. And it's more of like there's a lot of compounds in there, but a lot of teams that already taken that, especially for Riley, AXP, Almighty, and Vitality. So the rent is up right now. Who will not be paying will be taken down at this point, and Chell up in there going for the kill. Now we have a JV right now spraying and praying as the rest of the team's giving out information as they push in. And that was a little bit too aggressive for the team of Almighty right now, but I think it's more of the mechanical skills that they have that they avoided the gunfight against AXP. So I'll have to find out if they will be moving back as they take this airdrop, probably opportunity. And I was surprised in there that he saw that, and a good play, but not so much of the kills from Almighty.
Super cheeky by Chibi as he avoids all of that engagement, lets the rest of his team members do the hard work. They don't really find a lot out there. Dre almost taken down, manages to get away quickly. He's got the advanced armor just to heal up a little bit some of his plates that he goes ahead to use, leaving the advanced armor for the play a little bit later on. But if I was Dre at this point, you want that kinetic armor overcharger to all pad up already so that you've got that extra boost, because this is just open lands. And once again, Vagabond Snowman, smoke bomber for the play. Claudia gets caught out. Fantastic. And he's just running through the players. But 32 HP, and he himself gets caught out as Dre turns that corner with the PPSH, takes him out of the equation as well. Smoke bomber versus smoke bomber. Dre wins the fight.
And that's the case when you have fire in there trying to burn you down from behind, and a rock who is in front of you who's shooting some pebbles. So that is one thing that you need to be careful of, especially in the final safe zone that we have right now, because that really hurts. I mean, it really hurts. Especially as we've seen a lot of teams being taken slowly by this heat. And speaking of heat, the heat is on back for Vagabonds Esports. This is the time wherein they pop off, and 5 kills already to their name. A lot can be targeted as they are taking this tower for their high ground advantage.
Yeah, you look at Vagabonds Esports, you look at Nash and his play earlier on. Although he had 150 armor on him, he still went in there to use his kinetic armor overcharger, because you just cannot take any risk whatsoever out there on the battlefield, especially when you've got so many players still alive and kicking. And that extra bit of armor can go a lot of way, especially when you get caught out in the open here. Nash just tried to tag up those players inside of that small little compound, and you know that his strategy is sound. They managed to find a couple couple of hit marks out there. Luki turns around. Blue shuts down Kotaro. Riley Esports all cornered. Caleb out there in the open. Yato makes quick work of him as well. Vagabonds Esports once again, third eye open. Everybody's gonna die.
No matter where they turn, they hit the mark, and there we have it. 12 kills already from the 5 that we saw last of them. 13, and there's a lot more. It is a 3-man remaining. Yato has been taken down. Nash is still alive and kicking. We know how Nash and Luki plays. They will not sit this down easily. They will take the win in round number 2.
Back-to-back victory. Vagabonds Esports. Y'all better figure out exactly how to catch up with this team because they are absolutely out of control. Match number 1, match number 2, same strategy executed in both the games. And I cannot believe what I'm seeing. In fact, I cannot believe anybody has this much of skill in the game, Neptune.
It's very difficult to believe as they already taken 2 wins in there. Though, yeah, they have a record already of taking competition after competition, but consecutive wins out there, especially with the toughest of teams in this grand finals. Though it's day number 1, so a lot of strats might be pulled out, but as we asked for earlier from start of the day, this is not the chance for you to pull out or to hold off on those strats. You need to pull it out from your playbook. You need to use that to your advantage. Otherwise, you will be left behind by Vagabonds Esports, similar to how they did it in the semifinals.
And Vagabonds Esports clearly leaving the rest of the teams behind already.